Hey, nice Harley.
Yeah. Yeah. Had to get it, you know? It's great. It's the way I live my life, you know, by my own rules. Well, that's my creed or motto. My credo, you know?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like to live by the edge of my... Can you believe the crime in this town? It's crazy. It's like broad daylight right in front of us. It's like, hello, it's my bike, miss.
Maybe you should get your own.
Kim, he lies twice. Is the second lie as bad as the first one?
Well, you went a whole different direction than I expected. I think that the bottom line is that this guy is trying to convince this woman that he is, sort of the stereotypic Harley rider. I mean, if you listen to what he's saying, that's my creed, that's my motto, I ride like the wind and live free. And the bottom line is you look at this bike and you don't see that, or I don't. I look at this bike and I see something that's very tailored. I see something that's very curvy, very feminine, which can appeal to men, obviously, but this looks to me like a woman's bike, and I heard it, and it sounds like a Honda. It kind of looks like, a Ducati, but a little bit more fancy. And then,
what gang are you in? You know a lot about motorcycles.
I like
sounds a little like a Ducati.
But they've got this tough guy image, and they're still trying to sell that. So I think that, it's this nice way to just remind us that this is a Harley. It has a certain amount of prestige that goes with it, even though it looks like, to me, a woman's bike.
Sam, would you mount that bike?
Terrible.
Well, I don't know as much about motorcycles, but I do know that I think the average person, a person that owns a Harley, I was trying to think who would have a worse image, like what product is out there that, would be more negative. And I think people that buy kiddie porn, that's really the only thing I could think of where it'd be more negative. So I can see why they're trying to, appeal to, something other than Hell's Angels.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wonder about who this is going for, and I guess maybe it's women, because the guy is really a complete boob. You see a lot of them on commercials, including like how effective his strategy was, because he's on his knees on the curb looking at this, which, I mean, if it were his, just from the get-go, it makes his charade a little bizarre.
So I think the gender question in this commercial is very interesting. Are they trying to sell to men or women? And I think it's both. Get your own could refer to a female who wants to ride and has been riding on her partner's bike, or it could refer to this guy who has the idea of liking a Harley but hasn't acted on it yet.
Yeah. Actually, I kind of agree. I think they're going for a different Harley demographic, because I think the classic Harley demographic is like older men, largely, like, 40s, 50s, 60s, has been, the sort of aging masculinity. So the equation between woman, phallus, and machine is the oldest automobile selling trick in the book, right? And the interesting thing, and the idea is like you can buy it all as a package, if you'll excuse the expression. But the twist on it here is that they have to sell it through the fear of emasculation, right? That you can no longer sell to this demographic, like, buy this, you'll be a real man. But, if you don't, some woman's going to ride off with your phallus.
But
it's like
really
those ball-breaking feminists
woman,
again.
right? That
woman.
woman, she was very attractive, and so was the woman who was talking to them. So the two women that were
so was the one walking down the street.
There was also the old guy.
It was an idealistic environment, wasn't it? Go on.
Harley went bankrupt in the 80s, and new investors came in and took it over because they supposedly saw the underlying value of the company. But Harley, there's no Harley racing team, and they essentially took an engineering problem and addressed it with a marketing solution. They've added mystique to something that rumbles and vibrates and is loud, and essentially they make a bike that is right on the edge of environmental law. They did a test as to how loud the bike is, and the police did this. It was 84 decibels at idle. audiologists say 85 decibels on a sustained basis is damaging for your hearing. But that's what they sell. They sell noise. And I told a 10-year-old kid up the street that Harleys are not powerful, and he was shocked because noise is a shortcut. It's a mental heuristic. Noise equals power.
But this bike didn't have the Harley sound. I don't know if you know
and that
that.
seemed unrealistic. You could hear the narrator.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it was funny. I thought, because my recollection with Harley is that they tried to do a bike that didn't have the classic Harley sound and it didn't fly. And so I was intrigued to see that they're trying it again, or at least.
Well, I've seen a documentary where they actually have tried to put intellectual property rights around the Harley
I
sound.
see that too.
And using microphone tests have designed a bike that sounds like a Harley.
Man, that's really interesting. Anyway, time for our exit question. Maybe you should get one of your own. What should everyone have for their own, Margaret?
A functioning pickup line.
I like your answer. Mine's a hammer.
Sam.
Popcorn at the movies. That's
Chris?
right.
Smoked almonds.
Little piece of land.